I'm here to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I'm just kidding. We're talking about a different kind of scam today. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Muscle Pilled. I'm a niche internet micro celebrity. I schizo post on Instagram. I'm just a silly little guy. And I'm usually wearing this helmet. But today, the helmets are off! Because if there's one thing that grinds my gears, it's somebody who takes advantage of their fan base. See, I've been doing this for a couple years now, this whole social media thing, and I'm no stranger to drama. Because damn it, I fucking love you guys, and I do my best to give back to you whenever I possibly can. So when fellas like Tall Knight decide to take a break from talking to 16-year-old girls and lie to their fan base and scam them out of thousands of dollars, I have a problem with that. But we're not talking about Tall Knight. We're talking about my not-so-good friend, Patrick Buffman. Another niche internet micro-celebrity who schizo posts on Instagram. If you're a little tardy to the party or you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably wouldn't know that I've hung out with this man a couple times. I've spent some time in this man's presence. I've had this man in my house twice now, and I've been holding my tongue for too long. So let's get into chapter 1. You see, it's a pretty natural evolution for anybody who does anything fitness related to eventually drop their own workout program. Many others have done it. I have a workout program on my website, and Mr. Buffman did it himself. And of course, they're all very reasonably priced at a very humble $800? Oh, fuck, sorry. Discounted to $100. Such a good deal. What about his diet plan? That's another common one. $600? Oh, okay, sorry. Discounted to $100. That's so much better. If you can't tell, like Patrick Buffman likes to do, I'm fucking lying. I'm sure not a lot of you guys are super into the fitness industry like I am, or very familiar with the people in it. But if you are, you know that $100, that's fucking bonkers. So I've taken the time to compile a list of much more qualified individuals with much cheaper programs. Brody Shreds, 1 million followers on Instagram, great looking dude, probably generally knows what he's talking about. 6-week program for $15. 4-week meal plan for $30. Personalized. Oh, it might be an outlier, maybe he's just very, very cheap. What about Sean Adams? Pretty experienced competitor, pretty big following on Instagram. Dude looks great. 6-week program for $29. I don't know about you guys, but this guy looks a lot better than Buffman does. And I'd go out on a limb and say he's probably more experienced as well. Brandon Clark, seasoned natural bodybuilder. Again, dude looks phenomenal. He's pretty good at what he does. Been following him for a little while now. $45 for a 3-month program. 3 months. And what about the girls? What about the girls? We gotta be inclusive here, right? Lean beef patty. You've probably heard of her. Shredded. Very strong. Much more shredded than Buffman's ever been, that's for sure. Charges $30 for her routine. And $20 for her dietary program. The point is, do not spend $100 on a workout program, especially not from somebody that looks like Buffman. Unless you want to have massive areolas. That guy never skips nipple day. Most people, when they reach a certain following, are trying to look for ways to monetize their platform. I did it myself. I have plenty of friends who've done it. I decided merch would be good for me, so I make my own merch. I do t-shirts, and I do patches. I firmly believe it's perfectly fine to monetize your platform as long as you're doing it as reasonably as possible. So naturally, Buffman decided he wanted to monetize his platform as well. So he came up with the very, very original Berserk USA. No. Not the anime. Not the anime Berserk featuring Nuts from Berk. Berserk USA. I'd like to consider myself a pretty responsible guy for the most part, pretty reasonable. So before I started taking people's money, I crossed my T's and I dot my I's. So of course, I made sure once people started buying, I knew how I was going to get the products to them. Buffman conducted his first sale, and a couple weeks afterwards, he texted me, "Oh, Muckelspild, how are you doing your shipping?" What? You're telling me you didn't figure out how you're gonna get the products to your customers before you started selling them something? This is insane, and it's very irresponsible. When I first started, my process was very slow because it was a pre-order sales process to several different areas before I could ship them out. So sometimes it could take a month, maybe a month and a half. It took 3 months for him to figure his shit out. But hey, I mean, he got the products to them, so I guess it's not that big of a deal, right? I can tell you one thing though, he's a lot better at figuring out how to ship things than he is for taking responsibility for the things he does. Last year, a buddy of mine released a Schizo and Strapped shirt. His brand is called Finance and Maneuver. He's famous for doing giveaways, specifically for NODs, night vision goggles.
NOD stands for Night Optical Device.
Let me see hi to the camera. Say hello to the camera. Coincidentally, a couple days after Finance and Maneuver's sale of the Schizo and Strap tee and a giveaway ended, Buffman all of a sudden decided to release his own Schizo and Strap tee, as well as a PVS 14 giveaway, which is a set of nods. And when asked about this, he crashes out and says, Schizo and Strapped isn't an original idea. I came up with Schizo and Strapped shirts in 2015. Schizo jokes weren't even a thing in fucking 2015. And then he blocks anybody who asks him or questions him on anything. Like I said, I've known Patrick for a little while now, and it's always been apparent to me that he's been a little bit of a liar, he's been very selfish, and he's kind of a man-child. He lies to everybody at the range days and says his name's Pat and that he's from San Antonio. He's not. So you might say, oh, he just wants to have an alias. He doesn't want people to know where he lives so he doesn't get swatted or doxxed or anything like that. And while that would be a good point, why is he lying to people off camera and on camera? Why is it that creators that have significantly larger followings, who have been doxxed, who have been swatted before, have no problem stating their name and the state that they're from and not lying to their friends?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Patrick. Where'd you guys come out from?
South Carolina.
Oh shit. I
about
remember
you?
you good. San Antonio.
He's too important. He's gotta lie to you. Weird. He cares a lot about himself. He cares so much about himself that he's actually willing to scam people. That leads us into more scamming. Upon his most latest visit to my humble abode, within the first hour of him being inside my house, he felt the need to brag about how he used to scam DoorDash drivers. He'd order hundreds of dollars of food, and then when the food came, he'd file a complaint and say that it never arrived. Hey Buffman, I don't know if you know this, but people make money and sometimes live off of being a DoorDash driver. You just fucked them over. He even scammed my friend and camera guy. He needed a camera guy for the range day that was coming up. So I went to him and said, hey man, my buddy Buffman needs a camera guy for this range day. My friend charges an hourly rate for his service as a camera guy. Buffman decided it would be a good idea to tell him that the range day would only last 2 hours. The range day did not last 2 hours. The range day was more like 5 or 6 hours. But see, Buffman doesn't care. So when my friend came up to him and said, hey, this wasn't 2 hours and I charge $100 an hour, Buffman decided, instead of saying, oh, you're right, dude, here, I'll pay you, he decided it would be a much better idea to cope and say, well, we agreed on $200 and refuse to pay anymore. I get it. A deal is a deal. But a deal under a lie and false pretenses makes you a fucking asshole and a scammer. But see, all of this, as terrible as it was, I held my tongue. I didn't want to get involved until one fateful day. You see, when he was here at my house, he decided to show me and my roommate pictures of his girlfriend purchasing a couple patches from a store. Brand new patches. Didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, these are kind of cool. Whatever. Fast forward a couple weeks. Buffman posts on his story, selling captured Russian patches. Prices range from $300 to $900. DM me if you want one. Captured Russian patches. Hey, Pat Cuck. Hey, Pat Cuck scamming. Those patches are a little clean for a war that's fought in the fucking mud and trenches. They're a little clean to be real captured patches, don't you think? Not to mention the fact that he showed me pictures of them being purchased from a store. Let's say they were real though, right? $300 to $900? That's egregious. That's insulting to you guys. He knows you guys trust him, so he's okay with taking advantage of you and your trust for him. Once I saw that, I knew I had to make this video. I even messaged him about it privately, trying to talk some sense into the dude. $300 to $900 for patches? What are you doing? His excuse was he didn't want anybody to think that he was politically affiliated with either side. Newsflash, buddy. Captured by who? The people who capture them or kill them. The Ukrainians. That's a side. Doesn't make sense. But then he tried to justify it and say, oh, it's a donation. It's a donation. That doesn't matter when you're advertising it as a real captured patch. How about you say, hey, is anybody willing to donate to support my channel? You'll also get this cool patch. I still wouldn't be comfortable taking $900 out of somebody's fucking pocket, $900 that they worked hard to earn. No idea how the dude sleeps at night. Throughout this whole ordeal, even though I wear a helmet, that's a character. But I've done my best to make sure that people know when that helmet's off, the real me is very reasonable and down to earth. And I find anybody willing to completely take advantage of the people who love them like that disgusting. The This next part's gonna be a lot of hearsay, but holy fuck, do I need to let you guys know what kind of person this is. Before I even agreed to let him stay, he was very pushy. See, I was gonna have a girl and her little brother come over because they were gonna come to the range day. And so I told him, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have you over because I'm gonna have this girl and her brother. So he decided to say, I thought you had a house. You're telling me you can't fit me and them? Holy fuck. That's a child that was never told no growing up. Hey man, it's not a matter of whether I can fit you or not. It's a matter of, it's my house. But the dude comes over and he didn't bring any shampoo, any conditioner, he didn't bring any body wash, any toothpaste. And so he decided to just use my roommates without even asking him. It's not a big deal that he used it. It's the fact that he didn't even ask. Like, come on, dude, you don't just come into some random dude's house and use his shit without asking. He kicked a fucking soccer ball into my blinds, fucked up the blinds, and decided to just look at my roommate and not do anything about it. He even chuckled a little bit. We took him grocery shopping so he could get his own food. And this may be the worst thing. He failed the good person litmus test. He tried to put his shopping cart in an open parking spot and not put it back in the rack. This guy's worse than Hitler. But if you thought...
Sorry.
But even as a Greek... That's fucking crazy. But as much as I'm joking about the shopping cart and how awful that is, it is awful. You might say to yourself, muscle pilled, the shopping cart litmus test is pretty insignificant. And yeah, still makes him a douchebag, but you'd be right. But how about this? Making jokes to someone's face about their friend possibly being dead. You didn't hear that wrong. After the range day, there was an after party, and my good friend decided to get very, very hammered. Well, he disappeared for about 3 hours and we couldn't find him, and he wasn't home. So we thought that he drove, and because he wasn't home within that time frame, oh my god, my friend died in a drunk driving accident. I started calling police departments to see if he got pulled over, and he hadn't. I was convinced that this guy was dead. After Buffman came up to us and asked us what was wrong, I explained the situation to him. Oh yeah, you know, I think our friend got in a drunk driving accident. He might be dead. This was a very serious matter. Buffman thought it was appropriate to start making jokes. This man was making jokes to my face about my friend, who I thought very well could be dead. He would open and close our blinds without asking. He would turn on and off our ceiling fan without asking. And I even caught him trying to mess with a thermostat without asking. That cost me money, Patrick. You never mess with another man's thermostat. That is in the man-to-man handbook. The same night he decided to make fun of my friend possibly being dead, he saw me with a bottle of water and he wanted some water. So he asked me if he could have some, and I told him, hey, there's a bar 10 feet to the right. You can just have your own. And instead of just going and getting his own water, Pat from San Antonio decided to just snatch it out of my hands and drink mine anyways. Now, some of you might be pretty good people, so if somebody's offering to let them stay in your house for a week and save you a lot of money, then you might offer them some things, right? Like a meal or like an Uber. But Buffman's not like you. Buffman's not like me. He doesn't care, and he will take advantage of people as long as they're willing to give to him. So when I came up to him and said, hey, Patrick, and I said, hey man, we've already gotten a couple Ubers tonight. Can you grab the one home to my house? And what did he say? What? Are you joking? And then he said, here's $5. Now I ain't no pocket watching jit, but there was more than $5 in that wallet. None of this stuff might matter to you because all of this is just my personal experience with the guy. Some might say, love the art, hate the artist, which is fine. It's fine. But I draw the line at the artist lying to his customers and treating them like cash cows and extorting as much cash as he possibly can out of them for his own personal benefit. All of this is just to spread awareness. Be careful who you're supporting. I'll never tell you who to follow, who not to follow, who to support, who not to support, but you deserve to know when somebody's lying to you. And that's why I'm making this video today.
Jesus Christ. Look, I'm not 27. I'm 25. And I'm not just a mod. I'm the head admin. And I know he said all he did is watch Netflix. But all he did was watch unboxing videos and prank videos. What is this, 2012? I'm on Hulu trying to watch UFC and One Championship. I don't know what he's talking about. And I know he loves his anime. He talked for 30 minutes describing Berserk to me while I'm actively drinking at the bar watching men beat each other up. But no, I want to listen to anime. Boy, do I love cartoons. No, I want to see grown men beat the living shit out of each other. Please, Patrick. Grow up. Stop stealing. Stop copying. It's tiring. And I meant everything I said to you. So, cope and seethe and cry. I know you hurt your little fifis. I hope I never see you again. I'm not an Instagram guy. I do have a meme page, though, if you guys want to follow that. Look, and I know he says he bought cookware for us, but all that was a glass measuring cup. We have a plastic measuring cup. He just couldn't find it, which is surprising, because as soon as he got into our house after we picked him up from the airport, he went through all of our cabinets and our fridge without asking. I don't understand what the point of that was. What are you looking for something specific? You could have asked one of us, the people who live in the house and know where everything's at. And for the final slap in the face from my boy, Pat, from San Antonio, after buying his own cereal from that grocery store, didn't eat a single bite of it. He still instead ate me and my roommate, Muscle Pills, cereal. And the last morning that he was here before I drove him to the airport and berated him for 15 minutes, he poured a bowl of that cereal, took maybe 2 bites, then just poured it in the sink. And again, in pure Patrick Buffman fashion, didn't even pour it down the sink, just left it on there. So I came back to cereal gunked up and milk gunked up on the walls of the sink. How lazy can you be to not run the water for 5 seconds, scoop a little on the sides, turn on the disposal, and it's all gone, like a normal human? Or are you still busy living in your parents' house at 22, 23 years old and not have to learn to take care of yourself at all? Mommy and daddy do it for you. So of course, 2 grown men that you're spending a week in their house will just do it for you when they get back home.
Go ahead and like and subscribe. Follow my Instagram if you want. And you can support the channel by buying my merch at musclepill.com. We sell shirts and we sell patches. If you guys like this commentary style, let me know. Comment down below so I can start making some more, because it's pretty fun. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Stay until the end. So, you guys need me? I'll be in your walls.